Hi, welcome to today's tasting note. So we're launching something today. It's called our Cellar Club, and the idea behind it is very simple. If you think about it, if you buy a Starbucks every day when you go to work, so 5 days a week, Starbucks at what, 4.50ish, you're spending the best part of 120 quid on coffee. And so I thought, instead, if someone's got the money to spend 120 quid a month on coffee, why couldn't they spend that on wine? So every month, what we're going to do is we're going to put together a little thing of wine. It's going to be one wine a month, and basically it could be one bottle, it could be 2 bottles, it could be 6 bottles of that wine, and it will never go more than 120 quid for whatever it is. And these will be wines that I think should be in people's cellars. So, and the idea is not to make money off it, it's not to speculate, it's basically to have a nice wine cellar and basically have something to drink in between 5 and 10 years, give it a little bit of maturation and just have some fun with wine. And, if you sacrifice your daily Starbucks, you can do it for no extra cost, really. So the first wine we're doing today is this, Chateau 2015. It's a sweet wine from Sauternes, established in the early 1700s by Roman de Filhot. It's still owned by his descendants. And it's made up of predominantly Semillon, about 60-65% Semillon. Then about 30% Sauvignon Blanc and 4-ish% Muscadel. Sauternes the sweet wine from Bordeaux, and they live a long time. And but don't think for one second that sweet wine has to go with sweet food. It doesn't. It goes really well with things like pate. It goes well with lobster. A roast chicken with Sauternes is, lemon herb roast chicken with Sauternes is just a match made in heaven. So these wines are very flexible, even though they do have quite a bit of residual sugar. And so what we're doing for people who sign up to our Cellar Club, and you don't have to sign up for every month, we'll just put the wine out, and if people want to buy it that month, great, and if they don't, not a problem as well. And the idea is basically that there's going to be 4 bottles of this for 120 quid. That's the deal. It's on for a limited time, so probably for about a week to 10 days from the day we launch it, which is today. And so the idea basically is, if you want to take part of this, do so, and if you don't, not a problem. Have a look next month for the next wine on the Cellar Club. But the idea is just give people really interesting, fun wines that maybe need 5 to 10 years of aging. So this wine, 2015 vintage, 15 was a very good year in Sauternes, and this wine gets scored by, depending on the critic, between 90 points and 94 points. I think Falstaff gave it 94. The majority seem to be in that sort of 92-ish point scoring bracket. And I think that this wine's really going to hit its stride probably in that sort of, over the sort of 2030-ish, throughout the 2030s into the early 2040s. They will last longer. I've had Filhot from 1978, so the year I was born, so I'm 45 years old, and it was phenomenal. It was a beautiful, beautiful wine. So they will last, and 78 wasn't a particularly great year either, but and this being a great year, it will last. On top of that, over the past sort of 30 years or so, Filhot, which is a second growth in Bordeaux when it comes to sweet wines, it went through a sort of dip for a bit throughout the 20th century, but in the past sort of 30, 40 years, it really has come back up, and you've got phenomenal wines being made there now. It's a drier end of Sauternes, so you're getting more of a savoury character to it, and on the nose you're immediately getting some tropical fruit. So it's mango, it's papaya, it's pineapple. Those things come to the fore first, but it's almost like baked pineapple a bit, and there's a honey element there as well, some sort of lighter, fresher honey. There is some citrus, but it's really to playing second fiddle to that dominant tropical fruit. It's more sort of bitter grapefruit citrus than lemon or lime. On the palate, you immediately get a sweetness, but it almost gets masked by this savoury character coming in, a sort of green leafy, pea pod like savory element, and then all of that tropical fruit and honey and everything comes around it. It becomes a bit more like baked apples. Sort of baked apples with honey spread all over it, and then there's this lovely aromatic spice on the end, a sort of nutmeg or cloviness, just a subtle hint on the end of it. This is a cracking bottle of wine. Put it with a roast chicken. You're gonna be really, really happy now. But give it time, and over that time, it's gonna fatten up a bit, get a bit weightier, get more of those rich fruit flavors coming through. Put it with some blue cheese, and it's gonna be absolutely phenomenal. Put it with roast chicken, it's gonna be phenomenal. Put it with a sort of, at the moment, something like a lemon tart. It's gonna be excellent. These are the sort of things that you want to be playing around with this wine with. And it's great. So for the Cellar Club, 4 bottles for 120 quid, so averaging about 30 a bottle. In price comparison, you're roughly looking at, most retailers are doing it about 23, 24 a half bottle, so these are full bottles for 30. It's great. It will outlive me very easily, but I think drinking window 2030 to 2040, 45 for it to be really, really performing well. Click the link in the descriptions to visit the website. As I said, this is a limited time thing, so don't dilly dally. I think we've got access to about 72 bottles of this, so